I just, yeah. Well, my eyes. I'm old, so my eyes are weird anyway. So I can't quite tell what the background is.
Yeah. Well, then y'all know that they're be playing at Bristol. So.
Look at that.
Look at you in your baseball helmet. Yes,
dude. If you didn't have to wear that, oh shit, man! If you didn't have to wear that bush lid, I'd say wear one of those sons of bitches. God.
It looks kind of goofy on my head, to be honest.
Yeah, it does. All right. As Ross Chastain continues to do the St. Louis dance, I'm going to take a drink out of my Worldwide Technology cup.
Really?
I got to get one of those cups.
Well, just look across the table. Peyton and the group can help you out with Worldwide Technology Raceway. All right, so Chastain is back in the Freak Nation. So many things we want to hit with you in these 10 minutes, Ross, but let's go to Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the suspension of everybody's friend Austin Hill coming from a driver. I want a driver's perspective in this. Do you think it is fair how NASCAR handles suspensions with drivers, given how they can be subjective and kind of a gray area? Are you happy with that, or should there be some changes on how you suspend or not suspend drivers?
If you think that I'm going to get in the business of telling NASCAR how to do anything, y'all are way, way wrong. I'm here to compete, so I just need to know what time, the date and location of the race, and the rule book for what the rules are for the car and for the driving for me. Aside from that, I trust NASCAR. I trust the France family to make the decisions they need to make. And I'm here to compete. I'm a very small piece of this, just like all the drivers we're all just small pieces. And however they decide to do it, look, I've had disagreements with them. They've thrown my race truck out of a race afterwards. I didn't agree with it, but you move on and just go try to win the next chance you get.
Okay, let's talk about something that maybe you can control. You know what we miss is drivers going to the big red trailer after the race. We want cameras, because this is what TV is now these days. We want cameras watching you drivers go to get penalized. Would you be okay with that?
Well, I feel like there's cameras everywhere, so I never assume that I'm in a non-camera place around the racetrack. Yeah, I mean, personally, I hope that my fighting days are behind me and I don't have any of that anymore. But as a competitor, I'm going to push the limit and probably have more people upset with me. I'll be more upset with people in the future. So, yeah, I mean, I heard a thing a long time ago. If you fight in my pit area, you're going to be suspended. If you fight on my front stretch, I'll pay you $50. So, no. Again, I hope I'm done fighting. No more of that for me, please.
Ross Chastain joining us here in the Freak Nation, and it's a different set of circumstances this year with the playoffs, and I mentioned one track in particular where you guys were racing in the regular season on Worldwide Technology Raceway, but now with it being in the playoffs, every driver, I'm telling you, have stood in the line and said, yes, we're going to race Worldwide Technology different this year because it's a playoff race. These are the drivers who intend to be in the playoffs. What do you say about running Worldwide Technology Raceway, Ross?
Yeah, I mean, you just have to minimize the risk. It's the round of 16. It's our second race on September 7th of the playoffs. So trying to just make it through that first round is everything. I mean, our sport is built around winning. But the playoffs mean so much. And I missed them last year, okay? It was terrible. Mm-hmm. It was a terrible feeling. I hope I never have to experience it again. And I've worked really hard. And we've won early enough this year in the Coca-Cola 600, the World 600, so that we're locked in. So, yes, when we go to Worldwide Technology Raceway on September 7th, it's going to be full of intention is to finish that race. And sometimes that means going slower. That this past weekend at Indianapolis, I got crashed running in the 30s, but it's because we were all kind of fading over to the left, blocking each other. And McDowell got into us, no problem there. But if that's at Worldwide Technology Raceway in the playoffs, I'm not going to make that block that early in the race and live to see another lap.
How do you balance minimizing risk but going for a win or going for maximum points? How is that balance in your head over a fairly lengthy race, which every NASCAR race is a couple of hours?
Taking Indy, for example, this past weekend, it would be a non-negotiable that I have to make it to the end of the race. That's the thing. To finish first first you must finish. So I would have to let Michael go and fall in line behind him, and that's okay. I should have done it at Indy, but I was not wanting to get passed by anybody else, and he ran into me. So would have to let him go in that situation because the alternative is getting crashed, and it took both of us out. But then at the end of the race, you go for it. If you got a chance to win, line up on the front row for the final restart, right, with a couple laps to go, make a run to the finish. You go for it and risk it all. It's worth the risk at that point, in my opinion.
No, without question. I would agree with you there. One thing that came out of Indy, well, it's come out of a few tracks, is dirty air with this car. And it was so difficult to pass. And part of that could be because of the long straightaways and the speeds. How is that different, though, when it comes to a short track like Worldwide Technology?
Yeah, you've got more banking out here than you did at Indy. So that's the first thing that helps. We can push the cars into the racetrack with the asphalt being at an angle so that you have more grip. Indy, there is no grip. You're just relying on the air. The banking is so small, it doesn't even feel like it has any banking to it at all. So banking tends to help these cars, our Gen 7 cars that we've had for a couple of years now. And it just lays out a lot better, especially in 1 and 2. 3 and 4 is pretty flat, so it's a little harder, but 1 and 2, a lot of options.
Ross Chastain joining us here in the Freak Nation. And Ross, yesterday when we were doing Horsepower Hump Day for SpeedFreaks, I asked Chat GPT who is the long shot favorite to win at Iowa. Ross Chastain's name came up at number 1.
Look at that smile.
Does Ross Chastain look at the odds week and week and week before every race?
I'm smiling because I don't know if I like being the long shot. No, it is. We've not proven to be consistent. Like we had speed at Charlotte, and we've not had speed at other tracks. So, no, I don't see the odds. I see them after we win, and the people that did place bets won a lot at Charlotte, and I've signed winning payout ticket that he wagered for that race, and it paid well, and he came the very next week, and it was a lot. So it was cool to see his excitement, obviously, around winning that much. But no, I don't see the odds. I don't know what it is. We're not gambling on line. I can tell you, I gamble every time I drive into turn 1. So it's always a question if I'm going to make it out the other side.
Ross, you finished mid-pack in Mexico City. Would you have wanted to go back there next year, or good riddance?
No, I wanted to go back. I don't know all the details of what's going on. I read the same articles y'all do and see the rumors, but no, the experience in Mexico City for that many people in that large of a city. I mean, yes, getting across town was tough in traffic, but the people were so nice and they welcomed us in. I was teammates with Daniel Suarez for that race, a guy from Monterrey, and he's told me stories for years about growing up in Mexico, racing in Mexico City, and how proud he was to be racing in America and now having his U.S. citizenship. But he's always talked about what it was like at home. And now I got to see it, and I got to see him in his element in his home country. And he brought his sport to his home country. And I'm bummed if we're not going to get to go back there. I got to eat a ton of great food. I went for jogs across Mexico City and found really cool just places to stop and eat and to and from the track. It was a great experience and something that I'll never forget. So if we don't go back, I'll always have the memory, but I hope it's not the last time.
And rumor has it, of course, rumors, and you're reading the same things we are, but we've got a little bit of insight. Obviously, next year, the FIFA World Cup is not playing friends with anybody on the scheduling side of NASCAR, IndyCar, NHRA. That's the difficulty for 2026. But 2027, there is talk out there that NASCAR and IndyCar are still entertaining the idea of doubling up at Mexico City. How cool would that be?
It would be awesome. One, it gives me an opportunity to see my old friends at Chip Ganassi Racing, who I drove for my first full funded year in the Cup Series in 2021 in the 42 car before Chip decided to step out of Cup racing, but he's still dominating IndyCar. And I don't expect him to slow down now with what Palou and Dixon have been able to do. It's incredible. And then I imagine in 27 they'll still be firing on all cylinders. So that would be really neat. I love seeing those guys, and the opportunity Chip Ganassi gave me is a big part of why I'm here today, winning races in the Cup Series. I never got to see that through with Chip because I only got the 1 year with him, and I wasn't ready to win races in Cup yet, but he was building the foundation for us to do this for a long time together. And then Trackhouse ultimately comes in, Justin Marks comes in, buys Chip Ganassi Racing, and we transition into that and have not looked back with 6 wins on the one car ever since then. So any kind of doubleheader, any kind of time in Indy and around them is always great. Got a lot of good memories with them.
Freak Nation, Ross Chastain joining us here in the Freak Nation. A huge win in Charlotte for the Charlotte's Coca-Cola Diet Super Soda.
No, it's the World 600. Come on, it's all good.
Right. It's the World 600, man. It's like the Firecracker 400. Yeah. Don't try and rename it. Just say Firecracker 400. If it
Indy
comes back,
500,
right?
Daytona 500. Yeah. Don't.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right. Ross, thanks for taking time out and joining us here in the Freak Nation, buddy.
All right. Good talking to you.